while we're here, as I'm rolling pennies, so I found a jar of pennies so I can buy things for a day or two. Of course, things that I can just use and throw away, like cigarettes and a pop, and maybe get a drink if I feel like it. I'd rather have something else, but something the money can't really buy. I kind of, as I'm rolling pennies, I'm thinking about the legal aspect of like the last video about marriage and such, and how fucked up the law is. Considering it seems like every bit of law and religion that this country runs on, America, United States, is based upon Britain. The Britain owns every fucking bit of this goddamn country. Britain created the Freemasons. The Freemasons are in every single town. But they're supposedly Americans, but when they became Masons, did they give up their rights to serve an alien entity? The same with everybody who's a federal, especially worker, or working for the county or district or whatever, or even the school system. In order to get a license, you have to give up your rights, and now you belong to the entity and are not part of the people. But that makes it so then they're the nobles, but they're degraded, and that the people, the average workers that don't have those special rights or get to tell people what to do or put it on somebody else, then they're all the cattle, the tribal people, they're the nobles that have to take all the losses for the ones that are in the system, trapped in the belly of the beast. Because from what I know, maybe it is and maybe it isn't true. But so to become an attorney or a lawyer, I can't tell you the difference, but you could look it up. Who cares, really, right? You know what I mean in general. Then you have to take the bar test, the bar exam. But the bar stands for British Accredited Registry. So you had to be tied to Britain. Who sourced the world and all of Europe and whatever in order to create the Bible, just so all the churches could be tied back to also the same palace. Washington, D.C. owned pretty much and tied to the palace, the monarchy, all the churches, the government, the lawyers. And one feature that's in every courthouse is, in order for you to appear to stand in court, because of this concept, you have to cross the fence, the wooden fence that's between the common folk that are there watching as if it was a movie, and that those are all unpaid actors that are up there as the clerk of courts and the attorneys and the judge and the bailiff and whatever. Then once you cross that, you're at a foreign entity. You're on the mothership of Great Britain. But everyone thinks that they're there for the law, and we're here to help each other out. But we're each playing roles that don't serve ourselves or anyone else, for the most part. And half the time when you get called to court, then they put it off for another day and another day, called a continuance. I had one simple thing that I had. They put me on continuance 6 times and then charged me when there was nothing to charge me with, based upon evidence, all the evidence that I provided that proved the otherwise. And so, what fucking good is the law? When if I'm the victim, I can provide all the evidence to prove I'm the victim, and the worst person possible with all the evidence against them doesn't even have to show up to court and can win. While I have to show up to court for 6 fucking times, and in the end pay $300 to admit that I'm wrong, when they can't even put 2 and 2 together. What fucking stupidity is that? Okay, here's another one. So if it's something major, then you have to go to trial. A trial is a fucking sample. That isn't the end all be all. And if it's a trial, then people shouldn't be basing their lives off of that shit. A trial of what? Of how fucking stupid people are to fucking put up with it? The world over, just because that's the way it goes. That's the system. Yeah, but it ain't got no system to it because it's all chained to some other country, some other place. For America to decide for the entire world how it's supposed to go, how we can work together as a collective, separate from the bullshit, and use all the bullshit to fucking fix it, and not just go along with the status quo and the way it's been. But at the same time, not be causing a bunch of fucking wars or signing up to go fight them for some other motherfuckers. Because the American military is used by the UN and whatever and all these other world powers for us to be the police of the world, and for us, our American dollar, to mean the most when it's all technically owned by another entity that has a country and everything is attributed to it. Also in a trial, okay, so supposedly everybody there, other than the person, the both the victim and the perpetrator, which they're both victims in the courtroom, and they're both perpetrators, but really the entire courtroom is the perpetrator, and both people sitting up there are victims. At that point, regardless of what happened prior, both sitting in that room are fucking victims, and everybody else is a perpetrator. You're getting eaten alive. Well, for one, the law uses all these special terms and ways to go about things that nobody's supposed to know about. But at the same time, as nobody gets to make a decision. How's the decision made? Oh, but if we're going to make a decision, we're going to put it up to, well, this is how it goes, because we got a little chart here of, okay, well, so then the first misdemeanor of this, and okay, so then that's a 300. So then we just go by a chart like fucking multiplication tables. Like, well, why do we have to have a goddamn trial for that? And waste all this government money that you stole from us just to use a goddamn chart, huh? And nobody's allowed to think for themselves. Oh, but everybody can think for themselves. It's free will. But not if you work for the government. You ain't got no brain. You just do what you're told. But then you could sit there and be like, oh, well, I'll put you off. I ain't going to help you because I'm entitled. And I've had a hard day because I work for the government. The government pays peanuts. Or whatever, all these different ways that people put it. But then it's a trial. Then so nobody knows what the fuck is going on. If anything, the person that did it and the person that is being in trouble for it, or the victim, either way, they're both trying to hide from the truth. Or even if they both tell the truth, it doesn't even fucking matter because everyone else is going to decide for them. And then the court runs on some fucking rigmarole rules that if you go into any courthouse or whatever, they got a law library of fucking thousands of books with thousands of pages apiece just to fucking figure out what? Just to know every case that ever happened, so that when we have internet these days, why don't you just have that shit on and you can type it in, Just to show an authority, right? And at the same time as those that are when you're an attorney, for the most part, you just print out the same forms every week. Whatever kind of attorney you are, once you know how that goes, because they had to train you, because it's a certain special way to fuck people over, then okay, well, now I know how to fuck people over like that and get paid for it. But I'm here at your service, until you make it so that you don't get fucked harder by somebody else. But if you have a good enough attorney, he can get you off of killing people when everybody knows you did it. How messed up is that's a pretty messed up law. And then supposedly to join, then you have to swear away your rights to God. But if God's in control, then why the fuck we going to court anyway? And all those people swore to God that they weren't going to do anything wrong, but from that day forward, they ain't going to know what they're doing because they're going to do exactly what the fuck they're told. So they gave up on God, didn't they? And then if you're going to have a trial of your peers, but they don't know anything about the law, and they don't know what happened, but then each attorney is trying to twist it and make it look this way or that way or whatever, in order for a bunch of random people that probably aren't random, chosen from a list, but then paired up, and it's basically just like a closed experiment each time. And it has to do with nothing. just so one person's life can be put on the line and be drugged through the mud, and then even if they get off, they might not be able to get a job or put their life back together, or everybody can look down on them, or everybody can be their daddy and try to help them up. But basically everyone is stuck in that position, and when it comes down to it, everybody's deep down a good person, and everybody's got a piece of shit in them too. And so, yeah, if the law is completely based on something that isn't even of our country, oh shit, they scared each other. Then, in a way, those that work for the system are the biggest troublemakers, and that's why they were locked in there. Because their spirit took them that direction, rather than to God, even if it meant going the wrong way and going against the rules and the law. To figure out who they were, they wanted to jump in and get made, or they got that far and then they got scared and they wanted to fit in, which is not a really good leadership role, because you can't lead like that. You really have to have gone all the way to one direction, all the way back, and felt through everything the whole way, and not necessarily be able to judge anyone in particular, but be able to look at the whole goddamn situation as this shit's fucked up, and this shit needs to fucking change. But it ain't gonna change overnight, because, well, there's still gonna be people that need jobs or fill these roles, and Spirit's gonna have to work it out. And most people don't believe in that shit, and if they do, they just go to church or they get it from a book. But they're never gonna look any further than that. It deeply troubles me. Same time as, okay, past it. Now who gives a fuck? I'd rather live my life. I'm still surrounded by the old system in the old world. It's like that song, Waiting on the World to Change. Oh, but if you want change, change the man in the mirror. Yeah, I can paint my face and shave my beard. I can start talking like this. Does it change who I am? Does getting face tattoo change who you are? Does it make you better or worse? Or does getting a sex change, does that change who you are? Or does it allow you to fit into a character that you imagine that you wanted to be, but if you were already that character, then it wouldn't matter what fucking body you were in. So what's the change? Because there's all kinds of people that are into this or that, you know? I mean, it sounds weird, and I've thought about it 100 times. It is strange. I mean, ultimately, I want to have kids, and I'm heterosexual, straight, and whatever. But at the same time, I mean, being absolutely real, not into men whatsoever, not even a little bit. But the weird concept of, well, if it's about what one looks like, and if it walks and talks like a duck, then it must be a duck. Kind of, okay, so this is a woman, and so on and so forth. And we ended up in bed, and then I find out something's different. I'm loose enough, I'd probably go along with it. But that's not loose. That's just. But at the same time, unless you were a hermaphrodite and could have kids, that relationship probably is not going to be the end. I mean, the one. So then, what's the point of I'm trying to switch somebody, to go to the other side, or I look like a woman, but I'm really a man, or at least I have a man part. So I'm trying to see who I can get changed tonight. But that's just a game of dominance and trickery, which shows weakness and is not attractive. It's not attractive at all. If the whole weird thing about relationships is that, at least from a man's perspective, is that, well, she doesn't look the same in the morning when she wakes up out of bed as when she wants to go out to the club. She looks like a whole different woman. And you've seen these makeup videos where somebody who's totally hideous can make themselves look like freaking Marilyn Monroe and Betty Boop. Like, holy shit. That's scary. Plus, she's got a dad. And plus, she can hit up the government for money. And plus, she can get some guy to beat me up for no reason, just because she tells a lie. Goddamn, women have way too much power. If we're looking at the whole picture of it, when it comes down to every man is a boy and just wants his mom, but wants his mom to be a hot chick that's not his mom and to be able to sleep with her, and at the same time cuddle with her and have sex with her, and also, like his mom, to tell him what she likes so that he can be a good boy and be like, I like it when she likes it when I put the toilet seat down, or when I replace the toilet paper when I'm done with it. First thing that comes is bathroom references, huh? Or when we take out the trash. She likes that. Maybe later I'll get a treat. Maybe she make me some cookies, or maybe something sweet, you know? But it's too easy for a woman or the system as a representation of this divine feminine, the monster of chaos that nobody can escape, that is God in essence at its core, that's beyond space and time, as scary motherfucking thing, as a beast that just tears men apart like freaking Vietnam and World War II. And yet it's happening in every one of our lives every single day, in every single household where there's the balance trying to be restored. But then still we have these battles about the law and about sexes and about roles in a family and what business means and how money's supposed to work. So, there's my 6 cents plus 2 more to raise you for tonight. I think I'll probably do a video later. Share a video. We'll see. We'll see about that.